Hi, Karen. So I certainly see the issue you're referring to with the pixelization in these images. Um, Technically, every image is going to be pixelated depending on how far you zoom into it. So really, it depends on your destination of how this is going to be presented. So, being that this is a postcard, I assume that this is going to be printed rather than being posted on the internet. So if I look at it right now on my screen at this size, by the way, fonts may look different because I don't have the fonts you have downloaded to my Photoshop and computer. But this image size, it doesn't look pixelated until I actually zoom into it. And so any image is like that. Whenever you zoom into it, you'll eventually see the pixelization. As far as the issues that you're having is, again, I presume that you're trying to make this ready for print. So in the main menu at the top, if we go to image and image size, I can see you have an 8.5 by 5.5 image setup, and it's set at 72 pixels per inch. And I think that this right here is where you're having the problems, is the pixels per inch. If you're going to have something to print, your target resolution, pixels per inch, should be 300. Technically, we can change this in image size as long as resample image is checked. Although this may or may not be the best way to go. Once you change the image size, you may need to go in and change your fonts as well, and some other things. So just to clarify, like how I would set this up as far as if I were creating this postcard at that size. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go under File and New. And here I'm going to go ahead and create 8.5 by 5.5. And resolution I'm going to put at 72 pixels per inch, just as you did. I'll keep the RGB color at 8 bits. You don't really need to go anything more than 8-bit. And press Create. Now once I've done that, I can get out my type tool and I can type in, well, let me change the font to say 72. I can type in whatever I would like here and it looks just fine. But what I'm trying to do is compare this to if we had actually gone ahead and done a 300 pixel per inch image. So here, instead of 72 ppi, I'm going to 300 ppi. Now whenever I do my type tool, I'm still at 72 point font. What we can see here is if I go to view and I go 100%, that means I'm looking at pixel for pixel on the screen. So each pixel on the screen is represented as one pixel in the image. And I go to 100% here. What you'll see, 100% on the 72 ppi is much smaller than the 100% at the 300 pixel per inch image. So the 72 pixel per inch image, like you have, as we zoom into it, you'll start to see that pixelization. And obviously over here to the right with our PPI of 300, you'll see that the pixelization isn't as apparent when we zoom in just as far. Of course, if we keep zooming in further and further, eventually we'll start to see that pixelization. So eventually it's there, it's because it's all made from pixels. But I think that the issue really just simply resides in whenever you set up your file for this, that it should be set up at 300 pixels per inch. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Certainly don't hesitate to offer any other questions you may have. I hope that was a help. Bye-bye.